My book is called The Four Swords, a parable of leadership, video games, and dead dragons. It's a book about leadership based in the game industry. There are a lot of great books on game design and production, but this is a book about values, culture, and team dynamics, and how they influence project outcomes. It tells the story of four game developers working hard to make their project successful under difficult circumstances, and what they learn along the way. It's a parable written in the style of hugely popular leadership books, such as The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team or The Phoenix Project. It's a book about some of the timeless truths of leadership that even experienced professionals and game industry veterans often miss. In the game industry, the same patterns repeat themselves over and over again. The only way to break those patterns is if enough people on the team can see the pattern and know how to break it. This book shows many of those patterns in action. I learned a lot about those patterns when I took a class with Adam Grant at the Wharton School of Business in 2010 while earning my master's degree. Like a lot of people in the game industry, I wasn't aware that there was an entire field of management science and literally mountains of research into scientifically validated methods to improve team performance and better ways to manage teams. And that research applies to the game industry just as much as it applies to any other. My father is a seasoned leader who grew his own company over many decades. He always loved to talk about values. When I was a kid, I found it hard to relate to this because I didn't know what I didn't know. And as I got older, I started to understand that values were far more relevant and practical than I ever could have imagined when my journey began. And as time went on, I increasingly saw with my own eyes the way that values, whether implicit or explicit, drive a team's culture, and the way that that culture drives results. This book is a fictional narrative designed to both teach and entertain, a story designed to convey the best of what I learned, both from my father and from Adam Grant, and how they allowed me to see patterns that had previously been invisible to me, even when I had lived through so many of them myself over 25 years in the game industry. My hope is that this book will allow others to see those same patterns. This is the book that I wish I had been able to read when I started my journey in the game industry in 1994, and the book that I personally would give to new game developers on their first day on the job. I hope this book will give anyone working in games, or who wants to work in games, insights into leadership, team building, culture, and values. I also hope that this book will give those outside of the industry a glimpse of game development culture and an appreciation of how extraordinarily challenging modern game development truly is.